This legacy business is not for the faint of heart. If you're really going to take control of your life and live out all that you're supposed to live out and make sure the story that's left behind is what you want it to be because you're living it right now, then it's going to take you stepping up to a whole other level. And we're going to make sure you can do that today in this video. Welcome to Vasti TV, where we own our story, ignite our business, and live our legacy now. And if you are a solo coach, consultant, or service provider who is so tired of juggling all the things, trying to keep the life afloat and business moving forward, then this space is just for you, because we're going to teach you how to do just that while you amplify your impact, income, and influence. So if that sounds like you, hit that subscribe button, ring that little bell below so you'll be the first to know when we're launching new content to help you create harmony between your life and business. Operating under the premise of building a legacy is one thing, but actually becoming the CEO of your legacy puts you in a totally different arena. And that's what we're really pulling on today. And to get that, I need you to understand what legacy really means for the courageous CEO. Legacy is about every area of your life and living it in the way that you want to be remembered. So how you're living right now, in your finances, in your health, in your relationships, in your family, in your faith walk, in your mindset and emotions, and how you are having fun throughout this life, how you're living right now, every one of those domains create your legacy. And it is the fullness of you operating in all of those veins that will leave behind the story to be told about you. Now, I know you've often been linking legacy to just the business and the work that you do. That's a part of your legacy, not the fullness of it. And leaving money behind, that's called an inheritance. It's so important that we understand the fullness of what it is that we've really been called to. And so I need you to get that, because it shapes what it means to become CEO of your legacy. To really shift into leading every area of your life in harmony to actually make the most amplified impact that you could ever have made in your existence. That is becoming CEO of your legacy. And to do that, to really get to the fullness of operating there, it's a process. You know how this goes. It's a process. And there are 7 key steps that I've been able to extract out of this process that actually will shift you from living in that default, aspiring, wanting, I'm trying to get to the next level in my business, thinking that when I do get there in my business, the rest of my life will catch up. All of those things, to take all of it and put it in its proper place, and you start leading as CEO of your legacy today. Diving right into those 7 components, the first one right out the gate may feel a bit heavy, but it is vital for the next 6 after it to actually be able to manifest and happen. And that is wholeness. Getting yourself to a place of wholeness. And here's what I mean by that. There is healing that needs to happen in different domains of your life. Whether it is your relationship with money, because if that doesn't get healed, then it's going to block you from getting the money that is meant to be yours from your business, from using your gifts. Whether that relationship is with your mindset, because those limiting beliefs, the trauma that may be there, is keeping you from stepping out fully and boldly into who you really are. Or maybe that is with a family member or a friend in a relationship. And the pain from that is daunting you and keeping you from believing that you are worthy, from believing that you are capable, from believing that you are the one who's been called to do this work. If we don't get whole before diving into this world, we get into the world of entrepreneurship and then we are floundering because we're trying to do and repeat all the things that we've been told by everyone else to do, and we're not getting the results. Or we'll get so far and then we'll double back and end up doing the same thing we were doing before. You have to get yourself to a place of wholeness. Let the healing happen. Now, that does not mean that you need to be completely healed and perfect before you take the next step. But you do need to be in the awareness of it and in the process of walking through that healing. Because every layer of healing that you peel off is going to set you more free to do what it is you're really created to do. And granted, there are some places of healing that you can't move forward until they are taken care of. So if you found yourself stuck and stagnant, what may need to be healed in your life right now? Whether it's your mindset, whether it's your money, whether it's your marriage, your relationships, what may be damaged that is blocking you? You want to make sure that you are operating from a place of wholeness, because there you will find your identity. There you will show up unapologetically you, and there you will walk out sharing your gifts, serving others like never before in ways that you're like, I didn't even know I was capable of this. I didn't even know. Get yourself whole. Get in the process of healing, because those things are barriers that are holding you back from hitting the altitudes that you want to hit. There are things that you're trying to force to happen. And you keep persevering long enough, you will. They'll be forced, but you won't be able to sustain it. Because there has to be complete healing as you're navigating this thing through life to really hit the altitude that you are created to hit with your impact. Get yourself whole so that you live, build, and grow in wholeness through this whole process. And granted, like I said, everything will not be healed before you take these next steps. But it is important that you're aware where healing is needed and you're doing what's necessary to get it. Now, I was thinking I totally could stop right there because that would be a lot in and of itself. But that's only the beginning. And I told you I was going to give you 7 steps total, so I need to make sure I do that. So once you are in that process of wholeness, or you're getting your wholeness to come to that fruition for you, the next big step is to design your legacy blueprint. Now, designing your legacy blueprint is about you knowing who you are, what your gifts are, how you're meant to serve them, and then what do you want the story to be? And I love to always propose the question, 88 years from now, what do you want the story to be in every domain of your life? When you can get clear about that, you've cast a vision. You're making it plain about exactly how you're going to live. Because when you know the vision and what you're going after, that drives how you live in the day-to-day. But you actually have to get clear about that. You have to know, what is the ultimate vision that I'm supposed to lead as CEO? And you're the only one that knows that. So get that extracted out of you. Exactly what is the legacy blueprint? What is yours? Because once you have that vision out, that is your blueprint for how you are to build your life. These next 2 can literally work in harmony together. Because as soon as you have that blueprint for how to live and you start actually trying to live, these 2 become the deal breaker, whether it actually becomes your reality or not. And that first one is to master your mind. When you start actually executing on this blueprint and building out this life that you have now laid out plain in front of you, all the things in your mind that you didn't even know were holding you back are going to come up. All of the doubts, all of the fears, all of the questions that all start as a thought in your mind. And you have to become the master of it. You have to be able to take control of your thoughts and put them in alignment with the truth. That's right, take every thought captive. so that it becomes in alignment with the truth of what you are building as your legacy, what you are living. You have to become aware of your inner thoughts. And that is not something we're trained to do. So therefore, it becomes a vital component, because until you can transform your mind, nothing else that you're doing is going to transform. Which also ties directly into this next one, which is to renovate your habits. See, the things that you do repeatedly are your habits. To actually build this life is a manifestation of your habits. Well, those habits also start based on things that you've been taught to believe about how to accomplish something, about how to get somewhere. And until you actually renovate those, meaning go in, let's identify what are the ones not there, let's rip them out, let's keep the ones that are good, and let's add in some new habits. Let's build some new habits. But that all is in harmony with mastering your mind, because nothing about what you do changes until we change what we believe and think about it, how our thoughts are around that thing. So as you master your mind and renovate your habits in that journey of building this life, that's when you will begin to see it actually take root and start to grow. And what you've been desiring, what this blueprint was that you laid out of what you really want your story to be, it'll start to build and become your reality. So let's master that mindset, renovate those habits so we can get you on to this next step. These next two can just be hard. Just depending on how you're wired, they can just be hard. And that goes into us now looking at setting boundaries, which is something that a lot of us don't have, because unfortunately we've learned to give and not protect. Not protect the assignment that has been put on your life, not protect the responsibility of actually fulfilling your purpose and doing all that you have been called to do. But if you are going to manifest this blueprint, you have to set some boundaries. And in the process of actually building this life where you are stepping out, building this business, fulfilling your purpose, and you are living the rest of your life to the standards of excellence that you desire, you have to set boundaries. Boundaries around your time, boundaries around where you're going, boundaries around how you're showing up, boundaries around who has access to you. All of those are different places, plus that you're going to have to put boundaries. Because listen, get this. The way you have currently been living has not involved boundaries. And because of that, it is not giving you what you really desire out of this life. Therefore, it is imperative that you set boundaries so you can actually move with the shift that you're trying to create in your life and business. Get clear about areas where you are just being pulled one way or the other, or that thing that you wanted to do but it didn't get done. Why not? And let's get some boundaries put in place. And as you set those boundaries, that other place that's probably just going to be hard too is going to be to refresh your crew. Refresh the crew that you are surrounding yourself with. You truly are the average of the 5 people that you spend the most time with. Not because you choose to, not because you just change, but because that's the power of influence. The people that you're around all the time, that you spend your days with, if they are not in the waters of chasing their purpose, actually breaking out of their comfort zone and going against what's familiar for them to get all that they're meant to get out of this life, then you're spending your time with the wrong people. And the tough part about that is that those very people could be your family. Yes, you may have to refresh your crew and exclude some of your family that you are spending all of your time with if it is not getting you to where you are meant to be. Remember what the end goal is, and who you are surrounding yourself with will determine if they're going to push you, if they're going to challenge you, if they're going to hold you accountable, or if they're just going to keep inviting you to the next hangout with friends, or if they're going to just keep coming over to just, sit around and watch a couple shows together, or just have those like deep, meaningful conversations, but you're not getting your work done. You're not moving closer to making that blueprint your reality. Who you're spending your time with, where it's been invested, is a direct impact on your ability to make this blueprint your business, the real reality of the life that you are really created to live. So you need to look around and refresh your crew. Okay, you got the new crew, you got some boundaries in place, you're executing, you're seeing your life change. And that seventh component that came out that was really critical to keeping that change going, to making sure that every time you had an opportunity to go to another level of sharing your gifts and making an impact, that I've been able to do that, is focus forward living. Making that your new norm, to focus forward and live from that place. Meaning, I'm keeping my eyes, you have to keep your eyes set on forward. What's forward? What's in that blueprint? Where are you going? What's the next milestone that you need to hit to make the goal of achieving your blueprint a reality? You got to keep your eyes focused on where you're going and what the end goal is. Whether you are setting your milestones in 3-month increments, whether you're looking at the ultimate goal of your blueprint, you have to remain focused forward. The only time that you need to get anything from your past is to learn from it, because there's a lesson you needed to take from it. So you had to just pause for a moment to look back and retrieve that lesson. Other than that, you keep moving forward. Your focus has to be on what is the next thing I need to get done that's going to get me closer to making that blueprint your reality. When you make that your norm, then everything else that you have put in place to guide you on that right path to make that blueprint your reality will be sustained, and it'll stay going the course so that you hit your destiny. All right, you have the 7 components to become the CEO of your legacy and make this experience of life everything that you truly want it to be. And I don't mean just a fluffy what you wrote down at the beginning of the year, new milestones you may have set at the beginning of a quarter. I mean what you really want, that you keep tucked away in your heart. The part that really moves your emotions when you think about how bad you want to see your life in this other place. You have those keys now to unlock it. So go and get on course to become the CEO of the legacy that only you are created to live. And I'll be hanging out in the comments to talk to you about it. So if you have a question, you have a comment or a thought, drop it in the comments below. I will be hanging around for the next hour live after this video is posted, ready to engage with you, ready to just build with you guys and make sure that you can make the steps to shift into CEO of your legacy. I'll see you in the comments, guys.